Well, today I'm going to share with you something that you're probably not expecting. Here is my bank balance. As you can see, I have $11,742 in the bank today. If I asked you how much you had, would you tell me? How does it make you feel? Awkward? Embarrassed? Maybe even offended? Talking about money in our culture is currently taboo. And this silence is costly for women, sometimes devastating. Hi, I'm Leonie Carlile, and today I'm going to share with you how talking numbers can change lives. The first number I want to talk to you about today is the number over 55. At age 55, Maggie Patterson experienced early onset poverty. As a stay-at-home mum, living not far from Bondi, she gave her family everything. Her children went to private schools and she kept the house turning at home while her husband worked, earned and managed the money. Unfortunately, an acrimonious divorce followed the kids leaving home. He got all the assets and she was left both financially and emotionally decimated. A couple of years later, despite help from friends and family, Maggie found herself living out of her car. This was not the future that she had envisaged for herself. Unfortunately, Maggie's story is not alone. Did you know that the fastest growing group of people experiencing homelessness in Australia today are women over the age of 55? Now, I'm not just talking to you about women who have spent a lifetime of welfare dependence. I'm talking about women like my mother, like you or I. The next number I want to talk to you about today is the number 47. And it relates to what I like to call the super imbalance. Women will retire, on average, with 47% less superannuation than their male counterparts. Literally, we will retire with 50% or half of what our male counterparts will, despite the fact that we're likely to live for 7 years longer. So why is this? Well, women will earn less in every sector for almost every role. More women work part-time, and many women take time out of work to raise children. The consequences of this is that women have less opportunity to grow their superannuation, and for women like Maggie, this can be disastrous. After a lifetime of work for her family, she will have to spend the remainder of her life welfare dependent. So back to my bank balance. I have $11,742 in the bank today. And once you get past any judgment of that, think to yourself, so what? The so what, because ultimately, it's not about the number. It's about the journey that I've taken to get to the number. The things I've done well and the mistakes I've made. And I'm suggesting today, women, that we can share this without fear or shame right now. You see, money is the last great taboo in our culture. When we're young, we are told we can't talk about sex, religion or politics in company. Money doesn't even come up because it's pretty unthinkable that it'll come up in a social situation. And Australian culture is particularly bad for it. And this conversational no-go zone only perpetuates financial illiteracy for women. So I'm suggesting, women, talk to your daughters, your mothers, your nieces, your girlfriends and your grandmothers about that account that you have found that doesn't charge fees, the time you asked for a pay rise and how much you got, or simply the best way you found to keep your tax receipts. Mothers, when your daughter is pleading for that pair of jeans, instead of telling her you can't afford it, why not tell her how much money you have in the bank, how much groceries and bills cost? Let's be explicit. If you've had a bad financial experience, don't keep it to yourself out of shame. Why not share it with the women in your circle? It may prevent them from a similar fate. Ask the men and women that you know to share their experiences in the interests of communal education. Be bold and be brave. Captain your own financial literacy journey, all in the idea of reducing financial vulnerability for you and the women in your life. How about incorporating finance talk into your social scene? Money and Wine Book Club, anyone? And when I think about it, being more financially literate and having a generation of women who understand and can navigate their financial circumstance can only improve our communities and our families. And what's our alternative? Perpetual financial blindness? You know, I often think about Maggie, and I wonder if her tale could have ended differently had she have shared her financial story and had others sharing theirs. And then I think to myself, what story do my numbers tell? And who might they benefit? Thank you.